Hey guys, Tyler and Dane back again, Spearhead Training Solutions. We thought it'd be a good idea to watch a video together of an event we attended at the Shooter Symposium a few months back. We're gonna look through, reminisce about the drills that we did and explain some of the value that we got, learning from each other, and explain some of the stuff that we learned in terms of the drills and the techniques that we were able to work on and hone in on. So that'd be a great idea just to kind of break down each, segment by segment. So first get it going.
And so just for future, once you get up online, take that time to get ready, right? I know some of you guys are competitive shooters, so you're waiting for that make ready, all that stuff. Just when you get online, make ready. All right, good. That's good. Great.
Okay, let's stop it here. All right, so if you notice, there's a couple spots where it seemed like I was kind of unsure of, what was going on to my left and right. And for context, this was the first drill we did of the day where, a lot of these shooters have come together, and Dane and I have not met
any of these people. Besides Miles.
Yeah, besides Miles and I knew Danny and a couple others. A couple others we've just been messaging back. So we didn't really know, the skill level or what everyone's proficiency with, their firearms and stuff was going to be. So this is a good drill that Emmett and Miles had us do to make sure that, it was just a simple forward movement drill just to make sure that everyone gets their bearings of what everyone is comfortable doing. And the biggest reason why I was looking left and right was I think maybe everyone was going at their own pace. So the biggest thing, we didn't want to have someone shooting 10 yards forward while everyone was already on their way walking back, and they're shooting from back here while one guy's way forward at the firing line. So I think I shot my first rounds a little faster than the rest of the line, so I was just trying to make extra sure that the guys to my left and right weren't, I wasn't going to start walking back and shooting too soon while they were still,
we're getting
5 yards.
Crossfire.
Yeah. So just to be safe, and it wasn't like a drill that we were, super trying to work on a whole bunch of techniques right off the bat, but it was kind of more of seen as a warm-up drill and something to just kind of everyone to view each other's, proficiency with.
And there was no real command on when to start walking back.
Yeah,
either.
100%.
So
it was just it's very hey, we're going to be working as a team a lot in some of these drills, so make sure we're just being cognizant of where everyone's at to your left and right. So especially when we have a moving firing line. So
let that P-Mag go. I'm got the whole thing set up.
Shoot ready. Yeah, I'm gonna be in everybody's way.
Stand by.
He said it's only 200.
It needs a lot of.
I thought it was more. Woo! Good stuff.
We felt it.
Nice.
Oh!
Hey! Oh, switch hitter.
Oh!
You think she's better than the rest of us?
now, to start off the context of this drill, we were trying to force an emergency reload, without trying to game it as much. So we would have our friends or a buddy randomly load mags. We started with 2 different mags, and each mag had a different round count in it, and it was totally based off of whatever round count that your buddy was going to put in it. One mag could have 3, one mag could have 1, I think it was a total of 6, I can't remember how many total, I think it was a total of 6, but so you could load one mag unevenly, not 3 and 3, so that way they didn't know, no one knew when the reload was coming. You just kind of had to, make it work when it popped up and just kind of feel your rifle, So another thing I wanted to quickly say, some people will notice that I brought my rifle under the arm to reload. My view on it is that there's 2 different ways that most people do nowadays. Some just keep it in their shoulder and just kind of tilt it up and come under and then come back, which I honestly do sometimes as well. forgot you adjusted my stock earlier. I was like, why does it feel so weird? So, which I do as well. But what I like about this is that this gets tiring on your forearm after doing it 2 or 3 times in one day, and we were shooting here for 12 hours, right? So sometimes I like to just break it underneath my arm down here, then reload right from here, come up, and then just come right back up. Pros and cons to both. I would say the main thing is this is a little slower, a little less efficient, but a little less straining on your arm over time to do it from your shoulder still. And if you're coming behind cover, or you're doing a drill where you're behind an object in front of you, or if you're working in a team, breaking it down just kind of breaks down the silhouette. And keeping out here, I might not be able to do this if you're working with a team or a group of guys, stuff like that. So I usually will do both, but 2 options you can do depending on the context. But either way are right to me.
Rest of us, motherfucker, 537.
Man, look at this guy, man.
What is he doing?
I honestly forgot how to suppress wrong, and I did not taste good.
Next up,
I forgot it in my sling.
$1.50, $1.25 tree. $1. Yeah. Oh, I paid $1. Yeah.
Seeing Adam kept it in his shoulder there.
nice. 10-5.
Oh yeah. Not really a whole lot.
Nice shit. 347. I was clean. Stand by.
Like Justin's gonna do the same thing.
Damn it. 743.
You can pause it.
I only got 4 years. You ready?
I'll probably go too. So you notice something that we did when we were transitioning the rifle, especially because there was a barrel in front of us. Obviously, it goes without saying that eyes lead, gun follows. But when we're doing these wide transitions, right, around the barrel, and like super wide at different, probably like 20 yards apart, right? I would say they probably were at least. And so when we're doing that, we didn't just keep the rifle out here and just go like this, like a tank turret, It's a lot faster, more efficient. At times you saw me and Adam just break the rifle down and kind of come like this, and then regain our stock placement, right? Just come like that. Because if I'm going like almost completely left to right this far, it's gonna take less to just keep swinging all my, and plus we had the barrel in front of us, so that context matters, right? So I wouldn't want to hit into the barrel, but it's easier just to break the gun down and just swing it across if you have a super wide transition. So.
I was sleeping during all the rifle drills.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Except for the one where we did like the running gun. Oh, there I am. Had to pull the pants up.
I always do that as a habit too.
Is this with my CZ? Yeah.
It's a very I shoot it better. CZ.
Oh no, that was my 320.
Doing it anymore. Yeah, it's a 320.
Yeah, let's pause it there. So I don't know if you want to say anything, but one thing this drill kind of made me realize was I do this thing when I present and I'm doing transitions, right? Usually if the target's, it's not a super wide transition, I'll keep the gun out and I'll just transfer my eyes and I'll move the gun, right? Sometimes I have a habit back from a technique I used to do years ago, so it's still prevalent when I do wide transitions, and I don't necessarily think it's bad, right? But there was some tactical shooters, guys that I used to learn from back in Naples years and years and years ago, where they would teach to bring it back in and break it down and come back, for like a tactical setting or whatever, whatever the context was,
Clear the workspace.
So, but, it does have merits to where I did like that, to where I do break it down a little bit because then it gives me more field of view, especially if I'm doing a wide transition. That way, when I'm transitioning to go to a target that's way over here, if there's something that I'm missing on the way there, if I'm missing another target, like it gives me, my gun's not up in my face, right? So, but the problem with that is sometimes I don't know when to turn that off. So sometimes you'll notice where I was doing a small transition, just like here to here, and I was still breaking down and trying to regain my sight, just coming up here. Where necessarily it doesn't matter because you shouldn't be following the dot, right? All the way, you shouldn't
should be target focused.
Yeah,
right?
You should be looking first and the gun follows. So it necessarily doesn't matter that my gun's coming in like this too much. However, why not it's more efficient just to keep it out, look first, and then just bring the dot right in front of your eye.
Well, and to me, it's understandable if you have like obstacles in front of you. Of course, break down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
100%.
if you're on a wall, if you're in front of that barrel, like
Yeah.
like you said with the rifle, break down. Obviously, you're not gonna stand like that.
Yeah, 100%.
5 feet off the wall.
And you could tell there's some times where I got like, when the drill really messed with our head because we were doing the same drill, backwards and then
different
forwards
round counts.
in different round counts, and then doing it in reverse and doing the same back and forth. So you had to think a lot, right? So this had a lot of visual processing, and mental processing. So when I would throw my OODA loop off, and just really like, oh crap, what target am I supposed to be on? Then I would start doing this a lot because like I'm trying to think, oh, what target am I shooting? And like when I'm trying to think of what target I'm supposed to be on, I'll break the gun down, which again, it's not necessarily bad, right? Yeah. Because I'm still trying to. My brain is telling me I'm trying to pull the gun back so I have more field of view to process everything. However, I feel like I just got to work on turning that off sometimes, where I don't have to do this every time when I'm just, not doing a wide transition, like if I'm just...
There's no point to it.
Yeah, there's really no point where it's just efficient to stay here, move my eyes over, and just come out.
So what's an OODA loop?
Observe, orient, decide, act. It's like the visual processing.
I thought you made that word up.
No, Tim Kennedy used to say it all the time. A lot of older instructors used to talk about it a lot, and it does have merit. Where it's the processing of when you recognize the threat and acting on the threat. It's like the visual, the processing of like deciding, observing, processing what's going on, then deciding to actually end the threat and deciding you need to end the threat. Type stuff.
Reholster was just made me nervous. Yeah. And this guy, man, fuck this guy.
This guy fucking sucks.
Just kidding, love you, Adam.
Dude, that was a sick reholster though.
There's the confusion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then you're out of ammo. If you missed that, I would have roasted you.
I was paused there. So I did terrible on that drill. That's where the confusion came in, right? Like I totally lost train of thought of where I was in that drill, and then I started screwing up my mental processing a lot. But at least the good that I see out of that drill, right? At least was when I had that. I think I had a stoppage. It was probably a light primer strike or something. I don't necessarily know exactly what it was. But
I thought you were out of ammo.
Well, no, I was at the ammo and the other drill, but if you didn't realize, I did a tap rack.
Oh, yeah.
So at least with me screwing up all the other mental processing, at least I know that, if I have a malfunction, that the tap rack was there, like, subconsciously to, like, okay, my gun's not shooting, like, what do I got to do to fix it? But yeah, like, I got to work on, just the mental processing side of things, and in terms of, and the transition, this is all, like, transition drills, so that's like mainly, I guess, what we focused on throughout most of the day. But and I love that, trying to nail down our transition work, because we can all, most of us there can shoot fast and pull a trigger fast on one single target, So adding more substance in terms of transitions and round counts and stuff was really nice. But yeah, anything else you want to say? That was a good presentation, Dan.
Thank you.
absolutely nothing.
There were no makeup shots, by the way, so.
Yeah. There was no makeup shots. That's why I didn't try to keep shooting the steel when I missed. But yeah, I didn't really have much to say on that.
I heard it right.
A lot better.
950, way better. Way better.
I think Laner's a good shooter.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a good shooter.
I don't know what I'm missing that stuff. Yeah, back.
One more. Ah! Fuck! 933.
Hey,
Let's actually pause it there. I want to make a mention on Justin. It's funny to look at too. If you notice, if you go back to when all three of us started that drill, we have index points on our holster, right? At the bottom, right? This is a Canik with a cheap Canik holster, so pay no mind to that. But if you notice, and this is not like a standard mid-ride setup that we all usually run on our main belts. This is just a belt I'm throwing together, but just for demonstration purposes, like you'll see Dane at some point, he likes to put his fingers at the bottom of his holster as a reference point, right, to start the drill and start every drill to make sure that he knows where he's coming up from to get that good grip right away. So this is his reference point, right? And this is why reference points are going to be different for each person, but it's also important to each person. So my reference point isn't so much in my fingers, it's more so where the butt of the gun is on the inside of my forearm. I have this little protruding muscle right here underneath my tattoo where I know it feels right to be on the butt of the gun right here. So that way I know that if it's right here, I just come up right to the grip, right? And if I could feel that when it's off, if it's like too far down, like by my elbow, I'm not gonna get a consistent, I can make it work, but it probably won't be as consistent, right? So that's why I always make sure my reference point is the inside right here. And I was noticing when Justin was shooting, Justin's a good shooter. So I was noticing, and when Justin was doing it, his fingers were kind of like
pointed back,
like almost pointed back, like here, like he's grabbing a mag almost. And it's not necessarily wrong, right?
It's just his way.
It just goes to show that as long as you do it consistently and that's his reference point, it's all about building that reference point to make sure that you're coming up and establishing that master grip.
Target. Shoot. Miss. Yep, hit. Nope.
No, I was laughing because Tyler farted. Yeah, you smoked me on the run, man.
Dane always runs like a penguin.
Well, no, I have 6 to 11
He's like waddling.
discs in my back, so I shot good though. That's all that matters. I'm like, ouch, 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 ouch.
Indeed, in the white light?
I indeed my light, yeah. Oopsies.
It's okay, it's a good thing it wasn't at night.
First time night vision user.
I can't wait to get fucking nods,
Yeah,
dude.
go ahead.
Looks so sick.
Okay, we can pause it there. So, yeah, so I have owned a PVS 14 in the past, but like I told everyone else, the only thing I ever did with it was go out at night and, look at the stars and go to the beach and stuff, and you do all that other stuff that all the Gucci guys with the nods do, with the exception of shooting. So this was actually the first time where I was able to borrow a friend's nods and actually shoot under them. And a thing I quickly learned was that my traditional AR reloads, I'm confident with pistol where I can do it, without looking down. So it's a little bit less involved, but there's a little bit more battery of arms with an AR, in my opinion, to where I usually am used to half and half, like using visual cues and visual information to when I break the rifle down to, load up, gas up a new mag. So that was a big change for me, is trying to figure out to do it all off muscle memory and with no visual cues, because obviously I'm not going to have the depth perception, and especially it depends on how it's focused. And obviously I'm not going to sit there. If you ever shot under nods, you can't quickly look down and see something right up here and see it clear as day and know exactly what you're doing. I know there's some guys who, depending on the lighting situation, that will look like keep the nods up and just look down. But obviously in a situation like this, it was pitch black. I don't know the range. It was pitch black, no external lights or anything like that.
You can actually tell through my nods. You're seeing a lot of what we call SNR, like a lot of noise. You see all the little fuzzies.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a very clear indication
That there's no
how dark it was.
Yeah.
We had no moon. It was overcast, so we had no stars, and like the nearest city was like 35 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
We had no light pollution. We were in the middle of nowhere. Just go for it.
Send it.
Send it. Tasty.
Gotta know that memory. That's why we do the muscle memory.
Yeah. I mean, I can feel it because I have my fingers up high. It just takes me a little bit longer. Like come up and I feel it. I'm like, oh.
Those lasers are so fucking cool.
Right, I didn't have one, sadly, unless I was using his. Giggity. Definitely.
And that's the Somo gear, right? The full power?
Yeah.
God damn. That bitch bright. Did you fart?
No. Psst. Is that me? Oh. It's funny. I'm not even thinking that, like, as you could tell, I'm treating the IR light like it's a real light. So I'm only.
Oh yeah.
I'm only using momentary, because I'm thinking, I'm trying to have good light discipline.
You don't want to ND your light.
Right. And I'm like, and the concept is, you don't want to keep a white light on the entire time, so that way people
don't know where you're at.
Know where you're aiming and know where you're coming from. So you just only use it when you need to soak in the information. So that's what I was doing, but not thinking that
they can't see the light anyways.
Obviously context, could be different, but if we're
Your adversary has knots.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
That's a good point.
You might
Yeah.
as well be fighting like you were during the day.
Yeah. So in that context, then it would be good. But then one thing I was thinking after was, like, if it was going against someone who doesn't have nods or any way to see IR illumination or lasers, it was so it's just a good thing to think about. But I guess it's good discipline, would you say, to, in case an adversary has night vision, then just to do like normal white light discipline.
Yeah, so we were taught in the military, especially when actuating lasers or IR lights.
Yeah, don't just leave it on and just.
You don't. It's we would call it an ND. Like if you were walking around and you're just like kind of just pointing your laser show, you just left it on. You're NDing your laser. You're NDing your light. Like that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Even if it's IR, because we had reports of Taliban having like thermals and some had like nods from like some Afghan National Army dudes they killed and stole their fucking nods. They can see it.
Yeah.
So it's very rare you'd see that in country, but especially now going forward, like who knows the next war?
Yeah.
We always keep looking at the global war on terrorism as if like we must learn from that war and must take everything we learned from that war and apply it to every war after that. But we were fighting a very under-equipped but very well-trained enemy. So where we really had the upper hand on guys like the Taliban or Haqqani or TTP, ISIS, whatever, is they didn't have night vision. So yeah, we could do that, but the next adversary might not. The next adversary might be Iran. They do have night vision. The next adversary might be China. They definitely have night vision. Or Russia. They all got night vision. So that's why like Unity came up with those high-rise mounts, right? So like you can kind of have something that's always constant on, right? You can look and pass the game through your nods and stuff. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to white, or not white, like IR light, you really like you want to be looking around. But if you see a spot where it's like I can't really see in there, that's when you actuate the light, take a look, and then let go, and then keep moving through.
Yeah, and that's a good lesson to be learned for everyone. And one, take a low light class, right? We might be coming out with some low light classes here shortly, but if you've taken a low light class, you know, in general, so you would understand that you don't keep the light on the entire time. You know, you want to try to use it sparingly. You know, only use it when you really can't see into a dark corner of a room or into a dark room. And like sometimes if you have a bright enough light with enough candela and enough lumens in general, you'll be able to flood that entire room with light. So why leave it on if you could just come around a corner, all right, I don't have any ID on anything, flood it real quick with light for 2-3 seconds, process what's in there, and then come off, right? Turn it on, come off as soon as you like come down a new hallway or come down into a new room, right? Like you're just trying to turn it on just to gain information of what's there and not leave it on too long. Yeah, overall that event was awesome. You know, this first event, you know, Miles and Emmett put it on. And going forward, we're probably going to do some more events like this. It's going to be invite only. You know, so, you know, we're trying to get a lot of, you know, good shooters out there so we can learn from each other. You know, iron sharpens iron, and just get, you know, it's a good way to, you know, it's symposium style too, you know, it's, you know, different blocks of instruction from many different instructors where we can all have certain facets of the training industry that we, what's the word I'm looking for? We specialize in, I guess you could say. You know, we taught some combatives at this, which you can see in our other combatives video that we have already dropped.
I was going to plug it, but I guess
I just plugged it.
Go for it, yeah.
So, you know, and Emmett taught the night class pretty well. You know, that guy knows so much, and Miles put together a whole bunch of the transition drills. And
it's my first time shooting full auto.
Oh yeah, and we had a full auto on P5, so it was a really cool day. We learned a lot.
Jacob had the cannon.
Oh yeah, Jacob brought the cannon. That was fun. But
Jacob, right?
So it was a lot of fun. You know, it was crazy. 12 hours of training. Yeah. You know, we were out there for probably 13 hours, but you know, half-hour break here, half-hour break there.
And the 2-hour drive there and back.
Yeah, 2-hour drive.
Which is why I was sleeping.
But yeah, it was overall a fun day, and I'm glad we got to share with you guys and go over and break down some of the cool techniques that we learned.
Hell yeah. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. You know, argue with the person underneath in the comment section.
Tell us everything we did wrong.
No, argue in the comment section about whose footwork was correct and incorrect.
Yeah, and just look at Dane's running.
Oh my, yeah, I'm a
just comment on his running. Comment on all the stuff we did bad and help us out.
Comment on Tyler's red dot being 4 feet to the left.
That was great. That was rough.
Or to the right.
Back and to the left.
Back and to the left.
You guys never saw JFK?
No.
No?
Well, sorry we didn't get that right.
Anyways, bye. We love you.
All right. Spearhead Training Solutions, out.